Let's bring in Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator in all of this. Amitabh Tiwari, ultimately, it was an election which was done and dusted this morning itself in favor of the NDA. But coming to the brass tacks of it, bragging rights right now with the NDA, the opposition would need to look within. Either they didn't pay enough attention yesterday when there were workshops being conducted on how to file your nomination, how to file your vote for the vice presidential elections, or clearly there are Trojan horses within. There has been cross-voting.
So clearly from day one, I think the opposition has got it wrong. One, on strategy, while choosing a forward caste candidate, while NDA has gone with an OBC candidate. Second is the outreach. We saw massive outreach by senior ministers of the NDA government, including Rajnath Singh and the Home Minister, whereas the outreach of India was not matching. Third is the floor management, as you've said. 315 MPs have polled votes. They have not got more. I don't know who AAP has voted for, because if AAP has voted for India, they should have got more. So AAP is a question
AAP
mark.
has voted for India.
He has voted for.
AAP has voted for India. That word came in. The AAP MPs have all voted for India, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. They only one in Lok Sabha. Go ahead.
So if Aam Aadmi Party has voted for India bloc, then the number should be 234, which is the India number in Lok Sabha, plus 3 of Aam Aadmi Party in Lok Sabha, 237, plus 77 of India bloc in Rajya Sabha, and plus 9 of Rajya Sabha members. If Aam Aadmi Party has voted for India bloc, then the number should have been 327 is what the number should have been for the India bloc. Of course, some absentees might have been there. So one is floor management, and the fourth and the last is the execution. So 15 votes have been found to be invalid. Of course, we are making an assumption that these could be from the India bloc.
It invalid
like 15 minus
Perhaps
15.
These are the invalid votes. We do not know about it. But let's welcome Manisha Priyam on this broadcast. We also have Sumansi Raman. Manisha Priyam, what do you think is the big messaging from this victory of the NDA nominee in CP Radhakrishnan?
So I'm talking from the citizens' perspective today. The big lesson is that on day one of the parliament session, an erstwhile vice president nominated and put in place by the BJP was shooed out or exited for health reasons. And now an election has been forced on us. And now this is being called a victory. Yes, he has 452 votes and the other part has 300 votes. Now for 15 missing, if you think we will sermonize the opposition, I don't think that's the lesson. And I don't think there is any citizen, rivalry.
But Manisha ji, not sermonizing the opposition, journalistic inquisition, ma'am.
Let's sermonize that they didn't know how to vote.
No, ma'am.
Journalistic inquisition. Who was missing in the classroom? Yes, yes.
No, a journalistic inquisition,
and you know how to sign your
not
votes,
berating the opposition. The question, Manisha Priyamji, can also be asked right now: were they Trojan horses? Because number one, you had Amitabh ji touch on the Aam Aadmi Party MPs, but there was a question mark as well on the Sharad Pawar faction, on the Uddhav Thackeray faction, the 3 MPs of Hemant Soren.
Yeah. So I think the first Trojan horse factor was that there was a vice president who in the morning a few people said, oh, he was plotting something against the government. So that was Trojan horse number one, kept as the vice president for so many years by this government, chairing the Rajya Sabha. Yes, Trojan horse. And these 15 must be found out. And surely holding classes for members of parliament is a very good way of bolstering electoral democracy in India. I think the most important lesson of the election today is that the BJP has gone in for a Tamil Nadu candidate. He is an RSS person. So the BJP, the NDA today has accepted the RSS as the ideological spine for the NDA alliance. On the other side, you have Mr. Sudarshan Reddy for the kind of politics that he stands for or the ideology that he stands for. So clearly there are two ideologies. This is an ideological battle between two sets of coalitions that are ranged against each other. And by the way, citizens don't have much to talk about. It's like I give a resignation or I'm forced to resign and then somebody else comes in place and says, oh, this is victory, this is victory. Certainly this is victory. Who forced the vice president out? Why did he resign for health reasons? If he resigned and left the country in the lurch in such an important session, which is the hospital where he's in? Rather than finding those 15 people today I can tell you that this is what we really want to know. And for saying these things, I can tell you by tomorrow, the kind of things that will be heaped on us, we have decided to keep quiet. So, yes, 15 members must be found out. And yes, more trainings for MPs is the need of the hour. And those who did not attend the training session, since this is a bipartisan election, it's not on party lines. I would suggest even India members can go to the NDA organized school and learn how to vote better. That may be the road ahead for the future. That's the lesson that I see coming out.
Ma'am, you've spoken as a citizen. Let's bring in another journalist on the show now. Analyst, journalist in Sumansi Raman. Sumansi Raman, a point that was made by Manisha Priyam here was of an RSS dyed-in-the-wool leader in C.P. Radhakrishnan taking the role of as a constitutional head of an important chair of the Vice President of India. What do you think will be playing out in the upper house now? Because, many would say that Jagdeep Dhankar, his partisan role was seen as him acting at the behest of the government, and then we saw what played out when he was asked to resign.
Yeah, I think two things. One is Mr. Radhakrishnan is not the in-your-face confrontational kind of a person. As can be seen by the stints, he's had quite successful governor stints in Jharkhand and Maharashtra and briefly in Telangana as well. So he has not had a problem with opposition chief ministers, which most of the NDA government appointed governors have had big time. So I think that itself gives you an idea of where the Rajya Sabha is headed. It's going to be definitely less confrontational in the conventional sense. And what we saw with Mr. Jagdeep Dhankar was, until the last session, it was pretty, boisterous at times. Now, the second part on this is really the fact that Mr. Radhakrishnan is not a Modi, Amit Shah era BJP politician at all. He belongs to the Vajpayee era. He belongs to the to the RSS family, and he comes from a culture where he has friends across political parties. In fact, he's got very few enemies. Even those who are his political opponents don't have a major problem with him. He's always been very cultured the way he has dealt with political rivals as well. So I think that I am on record as having said that if we were to look at Mr. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah choosing a candidate to be the vice president, it's extremely unlikely that Mr. CPR would have been their first choice. So clearly, this is something which the RSS...
You're saying the RSS getting their way in. But just stay with me. Sumansi Raman, stay with me. I just want to, take our viewers through the latest tweet coming in of Jairam Ramesh, because earlier Jairam Ramesh had said 315, 100% voting. India alliance has done well. The latest tweet coming in, the opposition stood united in the vice presidential elections. Its performance has undeniably been most respectable. Its joint candidate, Justice B. Sudarshan Reddy, secured 40% of the vote. And then you have Jairam Ramesh, who juxtaposes the 2025 vice presidential elections to the 2022 vice presidential elections. At that point of time, Margaret Alva had just secured 26% of the total vote. So he puts it up against 40%, says this is a respectable moral victory. The BJP's arithmetical win is really both moral and a political defeat. The ideological battle continues undiminished. So, because there was no whip and everybody, Amitabh Tiwari was appealing to the moral conscience, Maria, or the, the MPs. But Amitabh Tiwari, moral victory, yes, but there's lots to think of. Because plus those 15 invalid votes, there has been cross-voting. Where has it really come from is something that the opposition ranks need to ponder. Even if there wasn't any whip, there has been people from their camp who have cast their ballot in that secret box for the NDA.
Yeah, essentially the NDA numbers were 427 before polls, and then you had the YSRCP 11, so 438. So they have got 14 extra votes. I think 7 or 8 independent and smaller parties are there. So we will have to see how many MPs did cross vote from the India bloc to the NDA. Of course, as I mentioned, from strategy to outreach to floor management to execution, I think the opposition could have done better. It's a moral victory of sorts. Of course, the The margin is lower this time because the strength of the opposition is fairly high in the Lok Sabha after the BJP received setback in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. But of course, they have to go back to the drawing board, think and ponder as to how election after election, the advantage which they had gained after the Lok Sabha, they have been losing the steam in Haryana, Maharashtra, then the Delhi elections, and now, of course, this election. Of course, it has been thrust on
Right.
us, but an election is an election.
Okay.
Everybody is fighting for.
Amitabh Tiwari, we're running out of time, Maria. So that's it. CP Radhakrishnan is the
Is the
new
next.
vice president of this country.
Absolutely, yes. So thank you for joining us, Amitabh Tiwari, Sumansi Raman and Manisha Priyam on this special broadcast. Prime Minister Modi is likely to visit and meet the next vice president around 8:30 p.m. We'll be getting you all those visuals and live updates from the residence of Prahlad Joshi. But for the moment, it's a wrap-up from Preeti and me.
All right, goodbye. Thank you for watching. Up next.